Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka Q&T. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So I don't want to really put a spotlight on the market because I am going to be recording this ahead of time. And honestly, with the CPI report coming out today and things like that, I don't really care to talk about price action. Also, in the short term, it doesn't really matter. Just prepare for volatility today, especially with a lot of price action. And yeah, just definitely watch for it. Now, I want to take a step back to 4 years ago, and I know that time frames are a little bit rough, and I know that 4 years ago seems like forever ago because that was, of course, around like 2018, where, of course, we did see the topping point for crypto during the last bull run. But 4 years is actually a very short time frame when we are talking about technology like the ones that we do talk about all the time on this channel. And that technology is, of course, DLT and crypto-based technology in general. Now, I do think that this technology is going to harness the power of the future, especially around the next major push with the monetary system. In fact, we have this article from Cointelegraph, and this was Quant Network's Overledger set to harness blockchain technology to power the next industrial revolution. Now, around crypto, we get this sort of idea that, like, all right, well, when we really look at things happening around this market, a lot of it is just speculation. It's, hyperinflated news articles to boost the price of tokens. I actually think that this article was spot on going back 4 years ago because we have seen most of what this article has set out to say come true today. Initially on it says here, here are the two key points for this article. Overledger is a game-changing blockchain operating system that connects existing networks to blockchain and facilitates multi-chain app development. Their Quant presale of 15 million tokens sold out, valued at about $15 million as it enters public sale. Now, yes, since then, a lot has changed with tokenomics. We've discussed this on this channel. But when we look down here, we do see Overledger not only enables blockchain-to-blockchain communication, it also takes things a step further and seamlessly connects existing blockchains and the internet to blockchain, allowing enterprises to harness the power of blockchain to address real-world challenges. Now, since this article came out, we have seen a major push towards other major sectors, specifically interconnecting the legacy platforms with crypto platforms, but they did talk more so about a few areas down here, and these are the sectors that we have been watching for on this channel for a while, even around like Hedera. And it says here, every day more and more enterprises and consumers are turning to blockchain for solutions to modern day challenges, from the pharmaceutical sector securing global supply chains to consumers being able to verify the authenticity of their high-end sneakers. The technology is yet to be adopted en masse. However, this is in part due to its current limitations, which include the inability of blockchains to communicate and work with each other at an enterprise level. And this is why I say, Quant is going to be the power source that does power mass adoption of crypto. Without it, we just aren't going to see the mass adoption of crypto. And Quant has been ahead of the game. They have been really kind of letting on where we are headed around, crypto technology. For example, going back to the 8th, we did see Quant post this: how will CBDCs help to tackle fraud? They'll have to be, built in control and trust consumers expect. And listen closely to this quick minute-long video.
So what we're going to see is a real evolution of money and the way we transact with money, but with built-in controls, with built-in fraud prevention, and the trust that consumers expect, because they will all expect to have the same resilience, security. I mean, this is national critical infrastructure as the government sees it, and CBDCs will complement and enhance that. And from our perspective, fraud is been an everlasting issue as an industry we've been trying to tackle. But having central bank digital currencies will really allow us to tackle fraud once and for all. And having these controls built in from a policy requirement built into the technology, we can really eliminate the risk that consumers and businesses face.
And there really is so much to this. I mean, if you look at CBDCs, or even if you look at issued stablecoins on DLT, the efficiencies are far too great to ignore. And I also think that this is why we are seeing a lot of countries kind of be, really quick to jump on regulations because I think that they realize, like, if they do not accept this technology, if they do not move in on this technology, they will be left behind by other countries that do accept it. We're actually seeing a little bit of a global war going on around technology advancements. And I think that this is actually a good thing. I think that we should be welcoming this technology because when we look at the monetary system, it's been over 30 years since we've actually had any sort of evolution within it. The last major evolution within the financial sector goes back to like around the 60s, where we did see the inception of debit and credit cards. And really, were they a groundbreaking technological advancement? Not really. I mean, back then, yeah, sure, it was probably great. Initially on, it was a flashy little thing, but it's almost like, anything. There really wasn't a major move in it. It didn't usher us into a digital age at all. In fact, it actually ushered us into a pre-approved payment sector where the efficiency or the inefficiencies have shined the greatest. And I think that it proves that we do need to move forward on in terms of like technological advancements. And I think that this is an area that we have been focusing on. And Quant also did announce this, a new technical paper, Central Bank Digital Currency Stability and Information, published by the U.S. Treasury's Office of Financial Research, explores how CBDCs could increase the stability of our financial system. Down here, we do see a few names. Right, that observing the flow of funds into a CBDC can give policymakers more information about the state of a financial system. And depositors, confidence, the visibility allows for a quicker policy reaction to a crisis, and the information effect is another channel through which CBDCs may tend to improve rather than worsen financial stability. And I bring this up because you got to understand where Quant is actually positioned. Like, here we have Gilbert Verdian, who is, the spokesperson, if you will, for Quant and Overledger in general, and he's discussing these ideas with extremely higher up individuals around the financial sector and system. And this is no big deal. I mean, we've seen Gilbert Verdian basically speaking with major individuals from Visa, MIT, and of course major other entities, and it's like you see where they are positioned, you see the connections they are building, you see who they are really trying to connect with and collaborate with, and it kind of proves exactly where Quant is positioned. But also, you see where this technological advancement is headed as well. Going back to July 12th, here is that paper that they were talking about. There's a few things within this, and it is all around CBDCs and how it could usher us into this new age of technology where the systemic risks are no longer a thing. They are a thing of the past. Everything that we've talked about around the 2008 financial crisis, or crises, if you will, basically will be fixed through this. This is why we talk about CBDCs. This is why we talk about DLTs. DLTs, to me, will be the main focus point here. And we do see up here, like, fixed fiscal capacity, no, runs on sound banks, no looting, no bail-ins. And then here's like introducing CBDCs in general, the central bank. They talk about the entire breakdown here. I cannot break down this entire, paper for you guys because there's just so much to it. But there's a ton of effects within this. There's a ton of pros and cons that they do outweigh. But of course, like most of the pros, like there's not a lot of cons at all to the system. They just talk about, the systemic challenges that they do have to, get behind and move towards fixing before we do usher into a CBDC system. And of course, things do take time. I would argue that CBDCs and this digital system has been in discussion since the inception of the internet and probably even before the internet. So this is going on a multi-decade innovation, planning basis as well as like implementation basis. Things like this do take quite a bit of time. But I do think that it is going to be centered around DLT. And coincidentally, we did see this post also from the 8th from CZ from Binance, aka the CEO of Binance. Interesting paper by the IMF, which argues that DLT-based payment systems could have a lower energy environmental impact than existing payment systems, and supports it with references to several studies. And yes, we have been talking about the International Monetary Fund because they have been proven to not only confirm where we are headed, but also, really kind of show us an in-depth view on what is happening behind the scenes. There's really no secret to this market. I mean, technically speaking, we've seen a lot of innovation happening. We've been seeing the wheels moving, and, yeah, sure, we've seen a lot of issues arising from, government agencies trying to sort of play the puppeteer around this market, trying to pull their own strings, but I don't believe that we will see them succeed in that light. I think that this technology is just far too great for them to actually fully, say, all right, well, we don't want to adopt this technology and we don't want to utilize this technology because the banks don't want us to utilize this technology. Even over in Europe, we have been seeing a lot of central bankers say, or central bank analysts say, we don't want this technology because it's going to eat into our profits that we make on every single transaction. But the issue around that is that we're not going to just stop this technological advancement because these banks want to keep eating up their profits. In fact, I would say, and I would actually argue that our current financial system is extremely broken past no return. I mean, there's really no return back to a stable position. In fact, I would argue that 2008's financial crisis has left us still unturned, and I think that when we look at it, we have not fully bounced back since that time frame. But the summary here is pretty clear, and if you guys do want to go check out this PDF, you guys are more than welcome to go check out CZ on Twitter. Make sure that you are going through a verified source. Do not click any links. Do not download anything that is not through a verified source. Always make sure, double check it, and even do a virus scan, if you will, of a link and a download file before even opening it on your system, just to make sure that you are taking every single security step possible. But here is the summary. Whether in crypto assets or in CBDCs, design choices can make an important difference to the energy consumption of digital currencies. This paper establishes the main components and technological options that determines the energy profile of digital currencies. It draws on academic and industry estimates to compare digital currencies to each other and to existing payment systems, and derives implications for the design of environmentally friendly CBDCs. For DLTs, the key factors affecting energy consumption are the ability to control participation and the consensus algorithm. While crypto assets like Bitcoin are wasteful in terms of resources, other designs could be more energy efficient than existing payment systems. Now, a lot of people will argue, of course, you look at the maxis around this market. I mean, I've seen it even in the XRP community, right? XRP, community maxis are always saying XRP is going after all the money. It's going to grasp all the money. It's going to be worth this, that, whatever. It's illogical to think that there's going to be one DLT platform that undermines the entire system. It's just not going to work that way. In order to have a fully decentralized financial system, it's going to be using multiple DLTs. You're going to have multiple CBDCs issued on multiple different DLT technologies, but there's going to be one clear winner, and there's going to be one choice that actually interconnects it all, and that is Quant, in my opinion. And of course, I'd love to see somebody bring up a discussion where they argue my point on the fact that Quant is the best choice, because even the World Economic Forum and Quant has confirmed that, listen, Overledger works. It is tried and tested. It is the chosen interoperability bridge between all of these major DLTs and the legacy system. There's nothing like it. The 3-line of code works, and it is incredible and easy to implement with no change to the internal system, and it complements the legacy system greatly by ushering in efficiencies around DLT in general. Again, I share with you guys this because of how large of an impact this actually will be. Bitcoin does not do anything around the financial sector because it cannot scale efficiently without having a centralized entity tied to it. A lot of people around the Bitcoin community want to bring up the Lightning Network, and of course they are granted to do so. I mean, go ahead, bring up Lightning Network. We could break it down fully on how it is one of the most centralized implementations around Bitcoin entirely. Bitcoin, in the beginning stages of, crypto, worked well. It was great for the time being, and it did apply its standards to most decentralized use case applications. But since then, there's been great, technological advancements within crypto, which is great to see, that has overwhelmingly changed the perspective on what DLT could be utilized possibly for the financial sector. And I argue the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum are just not viable solutions for the financial sector in general. Ethereum is way too expensive for retail use. Bitcoin, again, is extremely wasteful with its energy consumption as well as its inefficiency to scale around the financial sector. These are two assets that cannot be massively adopted without their inefficiencies even being more of a spotlight disadvantage to their consensus mechanism. This is why we look at other DLTs like XRP, HBAR, even ADA, Algorand, etc. There's so many in here that definitely do deserve a podium chair, but to me, I don't really want to pick winners or losers on this channel. I just like to look at the technological advancements that have been happening around crypto, and it is substantial. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.